Going to be Jay Lopez against Simon Rillie. I'm Eric Rogers alongside Peter Johannes on TVW Chosen Few Fighting Championships 25. We're coming out of a break, and before we get to the ring action that we're about to see, I just want to talk a little bit with you, Peter, about that first fight that we saw on the night between Chuck Vogt and Emmanuel Tosh that went the distance, went to the judges' scorecards, and came out a split decision in favor of Tosh. And we were speaking with one of those judges, and he asked us, I think, the same question about how we scored that fight.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It was 29-28. Could have gone either way. He scored it the same way we did, so it's the fight game.
Yep, it's just like any sport. You can go to replay all you want, and the outcome is the outcome. But that's why you love the sport, and that's why you do it. Both of those gentlemen, the fight we're referring to was their first fight in MMA action in an actual ring, and certainly an entertaining one for everyone to watch. And I think we get to see the differences in a fight that goes to decision, and also some of the other fights that we saw that ended in round one. A lot of TKOs in the first four fights that we've seen. And now with Jay Lopez coming in, what do we know about Primal MKE? Do we know anything about Jay Lopez and his fighting style, or is it, pretty much, it's a guessing game for the fans to watch?
Yes, I don't know anything about Jay Lopez. Primal MKE, I don't know how long they've been around, a few years now. They branched off. They were at Red Schaefer's, and Ben Schultz and Scotty C. branched off, started their own gym. And it was called a grappling gym for a while, but I mean, that gym is just packed now. There's so many people going to that gym. You got guys like Montel Jackson that's going over and getting some work in with those guys. So it's obviously a gym that's is no longer up and coming. It's already arrived. Scott and Ben have their own unique approach to the game, and it's working so far. So let's see how Jay does right now against Simon Rillie.
And we've already mentioned Fearless MMA out of Janesville, and Patrick Delgado there with the bandana. Long-time fighter, and running that gym the best he knows how, and it's definitely paid dividends for his fighters out of Fearless. So with those two gyms, great gyms that you'd mentioned, so I think even though both these fighters, none of them have a win on their scorecards, but surely a good fight, as Simon had quite an ovation from the crowd as he came out from behind the curtains. So I think we're going to see a lot of local-ish flair as some of the Janesville fans that came here to the Madison area, against the Jay Lopez fans, maybe closer to Milwaukee. But MMA definitely stretches long, far, and few between, because I was speaking with one of the judges before the fight started tonight. He said he's bouncing all over the place, Indiana and Midwest, and out of Iowa and Milwaukee and Madison area. So it's definitely a far-reaching sport as we see the tail of the tape and we get ready for our first bit of action here in this grouping after that first intermission. Certainly a lot of great fights in these next three before we hit another intermission.
And his opponent,
a little bit different approach. Some people like to get very psyched up and
also
trying to
weighing in
keep
at
himself calm and
155
collected.
pounds. Fighting out of Janesville, Wisconsin, representing Fearless MMA, Simon Rillie.
Sometimes you look at your opponent across the ring and they're very intense, and sometimes they're loose. But until that bell rings, we are going to learn as we go the fighting styles of these two men, as Rillie makes his MMA debut here tonight at MMA Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 25. We're underway.
Jay Lopez has been quiet since he's got into the cage. He just Looks like he's out for a stroll.
He's not breathing out of his mouth at all. So very calm right now. Making the first couple of moves, though. Control of the cage and striking.
Jay Lopez holding center cage. Eats overhand right there and gets taken down.
Now there's really making himself known. He introduced himself, says, "Hi, Jay Lopez, I'm Simon." And Jay looked like he was taken by surprise a little bit by that one because that's the first time we've seen his mouth guard.
He's doing the right thing here, though. He's got to get on the inside here. That fence is working against him right now.
He's getting folded up, but then again, Simon's right in the middle of that action.
You can see him looking over right at his corner, listening to their feedback, nodding his head.
And you see Jay Lopez actually hooking the leg before Simon really escaped and started pounding on the side of the head. Now spinning around, looks like Lopez is going to get to his feet, but really trying to prevent that.
Not a whole lot of action right here.
But you get your hooks in, and that's actually exactly, I think, what Simon really wants right now is
this is just
get
an
himself
position
in
right there. He's back inside the guard now.
1 minute, J-Lo, 1 minute. That's it. Keep it tied up just now. You need to.
And I think that's also why some people are, they get excited by the fists flying and the big moves. But this is where you're really learning how to fight, is the positioning of your body, getting your ground game going. Simon really does not look like he is intimidated by this at all, being in his MMA debut.
He's obviously winning the round right now. He scored the takedown, landed some shots. I'd like to see him get a little busy on the offensive here.
20 seconds. Keep it tied up. Keep it tied up. 50 seconds.
So as the round starts to count down, there you go. Simon really getting the fists going into it. Jay Lopez escapes. Is it too late? Some knees, trying to trade knees in this one as round number 1 comes to a close. And there is the horn, and the two men are separated. That's round 1 between Jay Lopez and Simon Rillie. Eric Rogers and Peter Johannes here. Chosen Few Championships 25 on TVW. We'll be right back. As we come back into round 2, we take a look back at round number 1 here, Peter. That was the very first action here in the opening moments of this fight. Quite a blow to Jay Lopez in the face.
Right. I was trying to pay attention to what Scott Seavright was saying to Jay. It looks like he was asking him to be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive with some feints. So we'll see if he can add some feints to this, maybe catch Simon out of position and score some points for himself.
Well, Lopez looked like he was in good spirits, smiling as the round was beginning.
Yeah, I see a knee to the body here. There you go. Again.
Trying to figure out who is going to gain control of the ring and their opponent. Jay looks like he has the height advantage in this one. It's not stopping Simon Rillie, from pinning Lopez up against the cage. And there's our first move.
And there's a lot of time to work. He's got almost 2.5 minutes. He's in side control. Simon seems to have the grappling advantage and the strength advantage. He's been able to bully him up against a little bit by the fence. I'd like to see Jay, when he digs those underhooks, circle away and then take center cage and let his hands go.
Right, it looks like Rillie is more comfortable here in this type of position. And the coaches are paying attention and trying to guide their fighters into better positioning. And
in the full mount, is it? Is he in the full mount?
I think he's trying. There, he got his leg over now. And now it's turned around and
gives up
got
his
back. That's not good. He's trying to get the arm under the chin.
He's got hooks in. He's a little high. He could. He's a little high. Lopez, or I'm sorry. Jay Lopez might have been able to peek out the back there, but
is it in? It's not tight enough yet, is it?
It's underneath the chin, it looks like. And he gets
there it is. Jay Lopez fades Simon RILLIE with the W, and the crowd is into this one. Some congratulations between the fighters and Simon RILLIE. What a debut for this young man. It was round number 2 early on. It was all Simon RILLIE. Patrick Delgado lifting his guys, and that's what we're all about. We represent. So we'll take a quick break here, and we'll come back with the official announcement. You're watching Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 25 on TVW.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for these 2 fighters.
And we'll come back with the decision now here in
contest.
Chosen Few 25.
1 minute, 48 seconds of the second round, declaring your winner by rear naked choke, Simon RILLIE.
Winning by RNC, Simon RILLIE in his MMA debut. Jay Lopez couldn't believe it, but congratulates him anyway and says that's exactly what I would have done in your position, and that was a nice fight. Good job, sportsmanship. You love to see it, and it's another fight down. We've had it all here so far in Chosen Few 25, Peter. The gentlemen bow as they exit the ring. We'll get set for our next one with potentially 2 of the all-name teams here in Chosen Few 25. We'll do our best for the pronunciations of those ones. And then we've got a handful of great fights left in this Chosen Few Fighting Championships promotion from Monona Terrace Convention Center. And Simon RILLIE exits the cage, a winner here in round number 2 by rear naked choke.